right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, as always, I'm going to give all praises. Salakia. Right. Okay, yeah. Things good. All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, as always, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shemal Shai, Baruch Kodash, which Yahweh, that's the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai. Some the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, it's his true name, and Ruach Kodash, that is the Holy Spirit. And I also want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well in the scriptures. And salutations to all the brothers out there pushing his word in all truth and in all sincerity. And today we're going to get into a lesson about, being that righteous example and being considerate of the spirit that you push out there. And I had a conversation with the elder brother Lahab out here in Chicago. We had a pretty long conversation. We covered several different topics, and that was one of the I'll say those are the two main things that we were talking about, and being older brothers in this faith, in our camp, we have to be very aware and very cautious of what we put out there, on the forefront, all right, so to speak, and I'll say this, you don't want to put all your business out there, okay, because I'll say this, a lot of brothers do have, social media, they got the Instagrams, the Facebooks, okay, the Twitters, etc., right? And with that being said, you don't want to put something out there that can, one, offend a brother, and two, that can basically is a stumbling block to a brother, in particular the younger men out there, okay, because you do got younger men who are barely maybe a year, 2 years in this truth, and they look up to you, right? And with that being said, you might do something that's I'll say it like this, that's lawful, right? That's not going off scripturally speaking, but spiritually speaking, right? It's not that wise, okay? It could put a brother in a pickle, so to speak. You see? So that's why it's very important, to think about what you're doing, especially being an older man in this truth, or an older brother in this truth. Okay? But we'll start off with this. This is our 1 Peter chapter 5, and we'll start at verse 1. The elders which are among you, I exhort, who am also an elder, and this is the apostle Peter speaking, okay, and a witness of the sufferings of Yahweh Shai, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock which is among you, taking oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. You see, we're supposed to be feeding the flock. And what are we supposed to be feeding them? This holy word here, okay? Which this word is what? Yahweh Shai. We're supposed to be teaching, to the best of our ability, concerning, prophecies, exhortations, all right, getting into the history. And you got particular brothers who are really good at the Hebrew, so they, make videos on that. This is what we're supposed to be feeding our people. Okay, we're not supposed to be pushing that being a rapper, so to speak. Okay, being an influencer. All right, so on and so forth. Because you got particular camps that do these things. Okay, you look at. I'm just going to use them as an example, like a Sakari. Okay, they push that hip hop vibration on the people. They try to intertwine the truth and hip hop together. And you see it. They make rap videos, all right? And those rap videos look like something you'll see on World Star Hip Hop, all right? They're constantly, trying to look, fashionable, so on and so forth. And these things, I'll say this, they're not things concerning salvation. And that's what we're supposed to be teaching, all right? That's our main goal. Things accompanying salvation, as it says in the book of Hebrews. That's what we should be pushing forth. What's holy, what's profane. You know, how to walk with wisdom. You know, we got to tell brothers they apply that wisdom that you're reading. You know, be as King David. You know, because what does the scripture say about King David? Well, he behaved himself wisely. That's the vibration that we should be pushing. We should be like a man like that. Okay. First and foremost, Yahweh Shai, of course. You see, that's what we should be pushing, not things of this world. Okay. And like I said, especially if you're an older brother, you have to be very considerate of what you're putting out there. You see? But let's keep reading. This is 1 Peter 5:3 now. Neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock. And that's what we're supposed to be, an example. Okay? You know, if you're an older brother, you know, the young men shouldn't see you in your drink, so to speak. That's why there's rank. Okay? That's why there's rank in this thing. You have, you know, particular levels. All right? You know, you got the heads. First and foremost, you got the apostles, the elder bishops. Then you have what? The heads of the camps. Then you have the, you know, the first, second in command. Basically the elders of your camp. Then you have the, you know, the bishops, the deacons, the teachers, the disciples, and then you have the men who are on the other side of the line who are listening and learning. All right? I'll say this. A bishop, all right, isn't really supposed to be familiar with somebody that's like a disciple. You see? Because you don't want, because what Apostle Gabar, he's done lessons on this. I think it's, the term is familiar. Being familiar, basically, creates, you know, oh God, man. There's a contention, man. How does it work? How does it word? It's Salakia, man. I'm butchering it. All right. But point being, though, is being familiar, all right, you know, a younger brother being familiar with the older brother can create tension. It can create, you know, issues. And like I said, Salakia for the lack of words on that. All right. Forgot the exact term for it. It breeds contention, man. Okay. You know, you'll have a younger brother who thinks he's on the same level as you. Then, you see. Like I said, that's why, you know, younger brothers shouldn't really see you, you know, in your drink like that. They shouldn't see you, you know, on the outside, so to speak. All right. You know, they shouldn't really, you know, in a sense, know, you know, what's going on in your personal life like that. There should be a separation. Okay. Now, once you're amongst the men of your rank, you know, if you're a bishop, hey, you speak with the bishops about, you know, you know, your issues, or you can go out with them, so to speak. All right. That's how it should be. All right. But let me just keep reading. This is 1 Peter chapter 5:4. And when the chief shepherd, that's Yahweh Shai, shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subjects one to another, and be clothed with humility. For the Most High resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. All right, and that's what we have to do. You know, we gotta, you know, be servants one to another. Can't be proud in this thing. We have to be humble. Hey, and you, for you younger brothers, submit yourselves unto the elder brother. Okay, you know, if that older brother is, you know, telling you to do X, Y, Z things, follow it. As long as it's in righteousness. If you're getting rebuked, don't buck up. Don't backbite. All right? Okay, that's the spirit of a woman. He's telling you these things for a reason. You may not like it. Hey, but you got to swallow your pride and just deal with it. Okay? Don't try to justify yourselves and say, all right, Khan, you know, hey, I'm going to get on it. Okay? That's what you're supposed to be doing. You know? All right, but let's keep reading. Let me get this precept. I think it's in Romans. Hold on, let me type it in real quick. Let me get this. This is I think it was Romans the 10th chapter. Give me 1 second. This is Romans. It's the 11th chapter. 11 and 9. Let's get this. Romans 11 and 9. And it reads here in the book of Romans, Salakia, chapter 11, verse 9. And it reads, oh, Salakia, nope. 14 and 13, wrong ones. Excuse me, I have the same word. This is Romans 14, and I'll start at 13. This is Romans 14 and 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. All right, so you're not supposed to put a stumbling block out there, okay? And I'll say this: particular things that are lawful, you know, you still can't put that out there for younger brothers. That may make them trip and fall. Okay, like I said, you know, brothers, I'll say this, you know, don't be posting, you know, a bunch of pictures of yourself with, you know, women. That's not wise. All right, you know, posting, you know, yourself with, you know, let's just say, you know, your money, your chains, your cars, whatever. You know, don't be posting these things. That could be a stumbling block. Is it unlawful? No. But is it a wise thing to do? Of course not. Okay, because like I said, a brother can get confused and get messed up, you know, over these things, you know. And those are just a few examples. There, you know, there's many more things. All right. And let me see if there's anything else to it. Yeah, let me keep reading. Verse 14. I know. Salagi, let me just double check this real quick. Live stream started acting funny. All right, Salaki about that. Let's read that one more time. This is Romans 14, 14. I know and am persuaded by the Lord Yahushua that there is no unclean of itself, nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. Okay, so you're gonna have certain brothers who they may not, you know, for lack of words, their spirit might not deal with a particular thing. They see it as, you know, something unclean, even though it's completely lawful. But you're gonna have those situations, all right? You know, and with that being said, you, as a brother that does that particular thing, don't do it in front of, you know, the brother that sees it as, you know, being something unclean, so to speak. Okay, all right? Because we just read, you don't want to lay that stumbling block, you know, in front of your brother. All right. Verse 15. But if thy brother be grieved with thy meat, now walkest thou not charitably, destroy not him with thy meat, from whom Yahushua died. You see, you don't want to put that in, you know, put that out there, you know, for that brother that sees it as something that's, you know, unclean. All right, you see, that's why you gotta, you know, be mindful of the things that you put out there. Okay, you really have to be mindful of these things. You see, this is first, what is this, 8 and 9? Let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 8. You know what, I'm going to start up above, though. Really, I'm going to start at 4. This is 1 Corinthians. It's a demon, man. Just a fucking demon, you know that? I swear to fucking God, man. Salak, yeah, the damn internet's acting funny now. 1 Corinthians 8 and 4. As concerning, therefore, the eating of things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other power but one. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many, but to us there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, but whom are all things, and we by him. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge. You see, there's not every brother understands these things. You see, let's keep reading. For some, with conscience of the idol unto this hour, eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But meat commendeth us not to the Most High, Neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours becomes a stumbling block to them that are weak. You see, you can't do particular things in front of particular men because they're weak. They're not built up like you. And that could be a stumbling block. Okay? And then you might get judged for that by Yahweh Shem Shai. Because you, as being the older brother, the one that has, more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you should know that that could be offensive. And with that being said, you have to refrain yourself from putting these things out there. All right? You see? This is why it's very, very important to be considerate of what you're doing. That's why the scriptures say this. Let me get this real quick. You got to ponder your steps, as it says in the book of let me get that, because a couple of those words are heavy. I think it's the 3rd chapter of Proverbs. It talks about pondering your steps. Let me see. It's Proverbs 3. Or is it the 4th chapter? Maybe it's the 4th chapter. Let me look. Yep, this is Proverbs 4, and let's get straight to the point. Proverbs 4:26, it says here, ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Now let's look up this word ponder, okay? It's palach. Alright? And it's basically the way out. Put things in the balance, alright? And it says so you got to put everything in the balance. Whatever it is you do, okay? You have to judge it, weigh the matter, all right? So ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. And that word established, I believe, goes into you actually, finishing what's basically, finishing what's actually set up. That's pretty much what it goes into, all right? Point being though is that you got to really on the balance. Is this a wise thing to do? All right. Is it wise to say X, Y, Z things? Okay. Is it wise to do A, B, C things? You have to really think about it. And like I said, especially when you're around young men, okay, who've only been in the truth for X amount of years. I'll say this too, even brothers who are young in age, man. You have more life experience. Things that you say, all right? And for you younger men, just because an older brother, he may move. I'll say this too. Just because a brother moves in a certain way, an older brother moves in a certain way, that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you too. All right? You have to learn how to be your own man in this, so to speak. Okay? And let me get that, because all things aren't profitable for all men, as the scriptures say in the book of Sirach. You got to know what's good for yourself. All right? Let me get that. This Sirach 37, and I'll get you to the point. You know what? We'll start it. Yeah. Sirach 37:27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. Okay? You got to know what's good for you and what's bad for you. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about the lawful things, because there's particular lawful things that you as an individual cannot do. I'll say this, certain brothers, they just can't drink. It's too much for them. Okay? It's just too much. Now, you'll have a particular brother, he can just keep taking shot after shot after shot and be cool. But you'll have a brother, he takes 3 shots, next thing you know, he's out of the spirit. He's offending brothers. He's out of order. You see? That's why I said, just because an older brother does a particular thing, that works in his walk, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. All right? So it says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life. This is Sirach 37:27. I'll call it out again. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men. You see, profitable for all men. All right? Now, if it works for you, cool. If it doesn't, stay away from it. Simple. It's very, very simple. Okay? You see? Neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. All right? Hey, some brothers, they may be more outdoorsy, so to speak. They like to go fishing, go on hikes, go camping. Some brothers don't like that. Some brothers, they want to stay in the city, okay? They want to, go, play pool. They want to, go to, one of those, festivals. Out here in Chicago, we'll have like a festival, and there'll be, a bunch of, what do you call it? For lack of words, like food trucks. You can eat grub, grab, a drink, crowd. All right. The point being, though, is you got to know what's good for yourself, man. And then, like I said, for us, brothers who are older in this faith, be mindful of the things you just put out there. That's just something you have to consider, because that can make a particular brother fall. He might try to, a younger brother might try to follow in your footsteps because you've said things over and over again, so to speak, in your lessons. Now that brother thinks he has to do these things, or he's like, you know what, man, it's working for blah 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 blah. I'm gonna do it too. Next thing you know, this brother's just all out of balance. All right, he's stumbling, falling, falling, so to speak. Now, next thing you know, this guy might be back in the world. And that's a scary thing, and that could be on on you, man. The Lord might be like, you know what? Like I said earlier, the Lord can say, you know what? You as an older brother, you weren't paying attention. I'm mad at that now. This particular, person, he's either falling, or maybe he's just completely gone. But I'm gonna require that from you. You're gonna have to be punished for that. So it's just something to keep in mind, something to keep in mind. All right. And I think that's pretty much it. I just pretty much hit the points. But like I said, you got to be that righteous example. Okay. Really what we should be doing as men of Yahweh Shem Shai, we shouldn't really be talking about ourselves and what we do. We should be pushing this gospel, pushing Yahweh Shem Shai, And what would Yahweh Shai do? That's what you should be, thinking about. That's what you should be pushing. Well, hey, this is the example he left us. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, these are the prophecies. This is how you're supposed to walk in this world. So on and so forth. That's what you should be doing. As an older brother, as, those, top tier teachers. All right? You see? And like I said, hey, there's particular things that you do in your private life. It shouldn't really be, put out there. Okay? And that's something, as the years have gone by, I've gotten older in this faith that, I think about now, you know what? I shouldn't put this out there, or I shouldn't, do these things. Now, sometimes you slip, of course, but point being, though, is you got to be very mindful of it, okay? But that's pretty much it. I hope this was an edifying lesson to whoever's listening. And that's pretty much it. And with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Also, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation.